So we've decided to formally start class with writing talks one. Right? So writing talks one को लेके जाएंगे. We will be doing this. के गर्नु पर्ने हो? Somebody please instruct the Rosinala actually the post Anglix ask group मा के गर्नु पर्ने हो भन्ने कुरा. Sangeeta, Ravina, anyone? Actually, Panada. So in case of writing talks, what you need to do is, while I sort of like that. So there are two types of IELTS that you will be doing. It's kind of academic IELTS and general training, and that's the difference that you can have. Writing talks one with these. In case of you guys, you will be doing a report writing. Fine. So report writing going for you. So, and this report writing should be at least minimum of 150 words, 150 words in right? So minimum of 150 words. So, and the suggested time for this is suggested time allocated for this would be 20 minutes. So 20 minutes, you could have a answer, but this does not mean that you need to complete it in 20 minutes. Usually talks 1 and talks 2 will be given together, and you need to complete the both talks 1 and talks 2 in 60 minutes, and you can allocate time accordingly. So that would be something like you can allocate talks 1 for 30 minutes and 30 minutes for talks 2. That's your personal choice. So it doesn't really matter. There are usually instruction what it has told is that okay, fine, 20 minutes, but you need to complete this talks. So your suggested time would be 20 minutes. So what we try to do is we won't be completing this in 20 minutes. We will be investing almost like 30 minutes because we will allocate our writing talks 1 time, writing talks 2 time, another 30 minutes of our 60 minutes. So यसरी गर्ने छ भन्ने. So what do you mean by report writing? So in case of report writing, what do you mean by report writing is you would be given certain topics. Right? So it could be anything. So report my case report could be of two types. You would be given two types of um, questions. It could be either data oriented, fine. So data oriented your type. Another could be object oriented. So that is object oriented. So what do you mean by report writing? It means something like you need to there will be a picture given or something tables or data given to you, and what you need to do is you need to have that data in your writing form. So certain cases, usually nurses are they will be given a patient and the patient could statistics and say and you need to write a report. It's something like that as well. So in case of data oriented, you can have the topics like questions. You can have a table form or a table form also. That could be one thing. And another thing would be you could be given a bar chart. These are the things that you need to be considered, right? Bar chart, and you could be given a pie chart. So pie chart another thing that you could be given is line graph, right? So line graph also. And next thing you can have combined data sometimes. So usually combined data is so what do you mean by combined data is you could have a table and a bar chart, or you could have a line graph and a pie chart. That could be anything combined. So this. Okay, you have a bar graph and combine. In case of object oriented, you'll be given certain things. So there are two things that you could be given. In case of object oriented, you can either be given map description. Map description, and another thing that you could be given is flowchart. And sometimes you can also have a picture. So questions are so that could be data oriented or object oriented. really does not matter. You could be given table, bar graph chart, pie chart, or line graph, or combined data in case of data oriented and object oriented case. Usually it's either map, flowchart, or picture. Fine. So in case of table, कस्तो डेटाहरू दिन सकिन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ you will be given a table, subtle एउटा table जस्तो दिएर अनि त्यताबाट चाहिँ कस्तो हुन सक्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ it could be anything. Subtle यस्तो भयो अनि maybe there could be male, there could be female, हैन? This is female को number 80, male को number 80. There could be other information as well, हैन? Subtle informationहरू दिँदाखेरि चाहिँ अनि what you need to do is you need to describe these things. So that's the table. Data oriented case. And in case of bar chart, you will be given certain bar chart. There could be trends, there could be something, you know. So you will be given an x-axis or a y-axis, and so there will be a bar chart or bar chart. So you need to explain this data to it. So basically, what pie chart is, usually circle pie chart. So circle that could be certain things. Divide certain things. Divide. So you could have multiple circles as well, right? Multiple pie charts. So एउटा country को यस्तो भएको छ जस्तै for example Yemen को यस्तो छ र Italy को यस्तो छ. Now compare the things around. So that could be one type. So another thing, line graph को cases मा चाहिँ it could be certain, like you will have x-axis, the y-axis normally and you could have a line graphs for certain things like that. So this could be for supply, this could be for demand. So combined with these, you can have line graph or maybe another pie chart. Okay, so pie chart you data compare so that's data oriented. Usually data oriented, you will have numbers. Fine. So numbers, data. So it could be a 48%, 45%, or certain quantity numbers. So it could be in dollars, it could be anything. So that's something like data oriented types. Questions. In case of map description, you could be given 3 types of map. Either certain map, say for example, you say present ko, and trees are and after construction of tourist sites, maybe there could be the same map and or it could be only a one map and you need to define it. In case of flowchart, it's something like process. It could be anything like, okay, fine. Plant saying they have that photosynthesis process, and so photosynthesis process, and they reveal oxygen with this, and what this oxygen is taken by maybe people or animals, and this people give out the carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide is again taken by plants. So that could be one flowchart, or maybe a recipe to how to make tea or how to make yogurt. That could be one. Picture case, you could be given a certain picture that's very rare in case of your picture they could just give certain images and you need to describe it. Ekdamai common question. So these are the types of report that you need to be writing. It's not about strict policy report or okay? Your haligo reports you could have. So that's a type that you will be having, right? Let's put this aside. So those are the types that you can have. So what is report for you? What do you mean by report for you? What does a reporter do? Anyone, please? Sangeeta, what is report for you? Report banale ke bhन्छ?
त्यसको बारेमा चाहिँ इन्फर्मेसन दिनु.
कस्तो इन्फर्मेसन? जस्ता तस्तै कि ओपिनियन लागेको?
जस्ताको जस्तै यसमा नट
Just
ओपिनियन
not opinion. Without any opinion, if you give certain things. So same thing, eh? So report को case में चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ first thing that you won't be doing in case of report, eh? What not to do in that report. First report. First thing you could have said what not to do in report. The first thing that you would not be doing is you won't be putting any personal opinion, right? No personal opinion. So what do you mean by no personal opinion भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ तपाईहरुले for example कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ यस्तो कुरा दिएको छ भने you cannot just have that हुन्छ नि यस्तो होला भन्ने कुरा assumption चाहिँ लिन पाएन के जस्तै for example एउटा bar graph दिएछ so एउटा line graph दिएछ यो चाहिँ मानिलिउँ 2030 2020 सम्म होला भन्ने कुरा now this is kind of upward trend मा छ नि त हैन so upward trend मा छ भन्ने बित्तिकै तपाईले के assumption गर्नु भयो अनि अब यो डेटा दिएकै छैन 2021 मा गएर चाहिँ this will continue rise भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ दिनु भएन के this is not with that so that is called your opinion so you won't be devising anything तपाईले के गर्नु पर्यो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ usually what is given in this talks you picture मा जे दिएको छ ती कुरा मात्र भन्नु पर्यो you won't be saying more than that अरु के कुरा पनि भन्न पाए यसमा दिएको information you cannot even हुन्छ नि have your personal thing पनि जस्तै कस्तो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ there was one mistake that one student did कस्तो गरेथ्यो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ suppose उसलाई words पुगेन अनि प्लान्ट्सहरुको अघिनको फ्लो चार्टमा चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ नि यो प्लान्ट्सले अक्सिजन फाल्छ and this oxygen को plant is अनि मेनहरुले लिन्छ अनि मेनहरुले लिइसकेपछि यसले फेरि कार्बन डाइअक्साइड फाल्छ भन्ने यतिसम्म थियो भने you cannot write कि प्लान्टहरुले अक्सिजन फालेर उनीहरुले एरियोला भन्ने एउटा लंग्सबाट खोइ कुन चाहिँ लंग्सको कुन चाहिँ एउटा पार्टबाट लिन्छ यता उता भन्ने you cannot have that those information you need to just have that हुन्छ नि respire या exhale, inhale, inner words use. You cannot use the medical terms of the user. If in case यहाँ दिएको छैन भने तपाईले युज गर्न पाइएन यहाँ दिएको बाहेक अरु केही पनि युज गर्न पाइएन भन्ने एउटा भयो so that's no personal opinion eh? You cannot give your personal opinion in this so that's the first thing that you need to notice fine what not to do in report. So no personal opinion. The first thing that you need to do. Another thing is you won't be having any conclusion in this. Okay. So in case of essay, we really devised that there was kind of कस्तो essay cases introduction right. So introduction intro and body part and this was a conclusion. So why this conclusion is needed? So your conclusion opinion usually my opinion the conclusion is something that you conclude the things out. So you cannot have this conclusion in case of your report. You cannot have this personal opinion. Personal opinion conclusion. So your essay will consist only intro and body. Your report will consist only intro and body. In this actually, so there would be no any conclusion. There will be only intro and body. Plus, यसमा एउटा थोरै एउटा पार्ट चाहिँ के हुन्छ and you will have analysis. Right? So certain part was analysis एउटा part हुन्छ. So that's the second thing that you need to understand. Right? No conclusion. सकेसम्म रिपोर्टमा मैले conclusion एउटा in conclusion भनेर चाहिँ लेख्दिन भन्नुहुन्छ. Third thing that you need to have that representation of data. Represent 60 to 70% of your data. गर्नै पर्यो के. Now, what do you mean by representation of 60 to 70% of your data? Usually our people really tend to have data English no, that's not a problem. If in case and this is something like 20,000 ma ke kura desa yति bhacha ani 40,000 ma यस्तो bhacha भन्ने हिसाबले गर्यो भने हैन किनकि हिसाबले यसरी दियो भने you need to represent these numbers as well के कतै न कतै तपाईको एसेमा किनभने these numbers are one of the pieces of your report, so you won't be omitting all of those data. You can omit some of them, almost like 20 to 30%, 30 to 40% चाहिँ omit गर्न पाइयो. You can skip the details and यताबाट यता आउन थाल्ने यताबाट यता आउन थाल्ने गर्न पाइयो, but you cannot omit anything, everything. मैले एउटा पनि डेटा नलेखिकन म रिपोर्ट लेख्छु भने and that would be kind of foolishness. So you need to represent 60 to 70% of your data. डेटामा चाहिँ तपाईले के गर्नु पर्यो यो हिसाबले गर्नै पर्ने भयो. So that's the third rule that you need to see representing. And another thing that you need to understand is analysis is mandatory. So what do you mean by analysis is something like there is some kind of data and तपाईले के हुन्छ data मात्र representation गरेर पनि always data representation मात्र गरेर जस्तै for example के हुनु भयो भन्दाखेरि ल तपाईले सट्टलार एउटा बार ग्राफ थियो अनि बार ग्राफको डेटा यो यति छ यो यति छ यो यति छ यो यति छ भनेर भन्नु भयो फर एक्जाम्पल राइट यो यति छ यो यति छ भनेर मैले डेटा रिप्रेजेन्टेसनहरु मजाले तर के गर्नु पर्यो यो डेटा रिप्रेजेन्ट गरेर गर्ने के त इज देयर समथिङ दैट इज हाईएस्ट हैन समथिङ दैट इज लोएस्ट के कुरा छ त और इज देयर समथिङ टु कम्पेयर के कुरा कम्पेयर गर्ने थिङ छ कि छैन भन्ने कुरा. सो दिस इज समथिङ लाइक बिसाइड्स द डेटा डेटा भन्दा बाहिरको कुरा के छ त भन्ने कुरा कि डेटाबाट के एजम्पसन त नभनौँ के एनालाइसिस गर्न सकिन्छ त. सो दैट शुड बी रिटन इन केस अफ योर रिपोर्ट. So that there will be a separate paragraph for that. So analysis is mandatory. Okay. So यो अर्को कुरा चाहिँ you need to notice this. Analysis चाहिँ mandatory नै पर्यो भन्ने कुरा हो है. So that's the fourth thing that you need to have, right? Analysis is mandatory. Now, fifth thing that you need to have is analysis the mandatory payadi. And now another thing is categorization. Categorization is also mandatory, right? Required. So usually सधैँ categorization गर्न त भएन हैन, but still categorization is required. So usually तपाईले intro एउटा लेख्नुहुन्छ and body paragraph मा त मसँग एउटा मात्र paragraph हुनु पर्यो. So यो body paragraph मा you need to divide things, okay? टक्कलहरु divide things. So मेरो category चाहिँ के हो? के एउटा क्याटेगोरी हुनु पर्यो के एउटा क्याटेगोरी हुनु पर्यो के है. सो क्याटेगोरी मेरो के हिसाबले डिभाइड हुन्छ त भन्ने कुरा. सो इट कुड बी एनीथिङ अबाउट एनीथिङ मेरो क्याटेगोरी यो हो मेरो क्याटेगोरी के हो भनेर डिभाइड गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ इफ यु थिंक अबाउट इट प्रिभियसली सो क्याटेगोराइजेसन इज रिक्वायर्ड. मेरो यो क्याटेगोराइजेसन लेख्नु पर्यो यो क्याटेगोरी. सो यु नीड टु हैव एटलिस्ट 2 क्याटेगोरीज के न के क्याटेगोरी चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो है. सो मैले डेटालाई चाहिँ यो दुईटा खण्डमा डिभाइड गरेछु है भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो. सो व्हाट दिस कुड बी एनीथिङ के सपोज 40% भन्दा माथि चाहिँ म एउटा क्याटेगोराइजेसन गर्छु 40% भन्दा मुनिको चाहिँ मैले एक ठाउँमा राखे भन्ने छ. और इट कुड बी एनीथिङ मेबी इन्क्रिजिङ ट्रेन्ड भएकोलाई चाहिँ म एक ठाउँमा राखे अनि डिक्रिजिङ ट्रेन्ड भएकोलाई चाहिँ मैले एक ठाउँमा राखे. के न के क्याटेगोरी चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो कि दैट शुड बी ओभर देयर. और इट कुड बी लाइक भनौँ न म्यापैको केसमा भने नि ईस्टर्न र वेस्टर्न साइड चाहिँ मैले एक ठाउँमा राखे नर्थर्न र साउथर्न साइड चाहिँ मैले एक ठाउँमा राखे भन्ने कुरा. नर्थ र साउथ ठाउँ चाहिँ एक ठाउँमा. सो देयर शुड बी क्याटेगोराइजेसन एट सम पोइन्ट अफ टाइम. सो दीज आर सर्टेन थिंग्स व्हाट नट टु डु है. व्हाट नट टु डु इन रिपोर्टमा भन्दा नि अर्को व्हाट टु डु इन रिपोर्टमा जानुपर्छ. बट द्याट्स फाइन एज वेल है. सो के गर्नु पर्यो नो पर्सनल ओपिनियन. यु क्यान नट ह्याभ योर ओन पर्सनल ओपिनियन इन द्याट. And no conclusion. You should not be writing any conclusion in your report. That's the first thing. And what to do, Masai, you saying 1, 2, 3 got in maybe. What to consider. So in case of what to consider, Masai, you need to represent 60 to 70% of your data, and you need the analysis is mandatory in your data. And this categorization is required. Categorization is required. So that's something that you would be doing in your report, right? Fine. So since you need to have this report writing completed in 20 minutes, what you need to do is, so you need to understand the questions first. के parameters चाहिँ तपाईले so के parameters say you will be judged say you need to understand the things out. So मैले एउटा essay लेखेँ या मैले एउटा report writing लेखेँ, मैले कसो कुन parameter say I will be judged. If you think about those parameters, that would be very beneficial to you. के हिसाबले गर्न सक्छु त के गर्न सक्छु त भन्ने हिसाबले just make things organized. Fine. So we'll be talking about data oriented first. Object oriented जानु भन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ हामीले के गर्छौँ भन्दा किन data oriented भन्दाखेरि the most of the questions that you will be asked in your essay is data oriented questions नै हुन्छ rather than object oriented. Normally, as per my experience, object oriented is usually asked for 20% of the times. Dates are 20% times normally data oriented object oriented. And as per my experience, object oriented questions writing those marks are low. So data oriented that's quite fine, right? So one thing what you need to understand is in writing task 1, minimum 150 words and there are 2 tasks in writing, writing task 1 and writing task 2. Writing task 1, since less time is allocated and you need to write very few number of words, minimum 150 words, usually the weightage of its marks is 40% of 9. So you will be graded in 3.6, right? So 3.6 को मा चाहिँ only graded हुन्छ भन्ने. So 3.6 मा मैले कसरी define गर्नु पर्यो भने मेरो 9 को 3.6% या 3.6 marks चाहिँ केबाट आउँछ भन्दा task 1 मा आउँछ. You would not know that, है. Writing को task मा चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ नि, writing को score आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ तपाईहरुलाई you won't be getting okay fine writing task 1 मा यति आयो, writing task 2 मा यति आयो भन्ने के पनि हुँदैन. So what you need to do is writing task 1 मा चाहिँ मेरो 3.6 or 40% of 9 चाहिँ मेरो writing 6 ले writing task 1 be defined person. Okay, so writing task 1 name. So that's something like report writing for you. Suppose if you have to see the question, question also I'll just search it. Bing search image. Writing task 1. Okay, this could be one image, right? Writing task 1. This was reported in January 6, 2016. So this is from IELTSnews.com. which is sort of a lot of questions are related, right? So if you have to go into the parts, so if you have to go into the parts, usually this is the question, right? So you part the question, or we call it the topic. So can anyone make me understand what this topic is? Anyone? Any volunteers? के भन्न खोजेको यो डेटाले भन्न खोजेको कुरा के हो? सृजना? सृजना श्रेष्ठ?
Yes, sir. I think this part shows the differences of fresh waters and salt waters.
Differences?
So, yeah. How much people use fresh waters and how many use the salt waters?
Use,
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's a great analysis. Any other, please? Anyone? Ravina or Rosina? Rosina, you can please.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
I think it shows the percentile uses of fresh water and salt water
Mhm.
among those three different countries.
Okay, there are three countries over here. That's Egypt, South Arabia, and Canada. So you can understand this whole graph neither, right? मजाले graph to पढ्न सकिन्छ नि त. You do not have problem with reading the graphs, right? Problem so. So this is something like the charts below show the distribution of. There are two charts, right? So this one is pie chart. This is pie chart. This one is, what do you call it?
Bar graph.
Bar graph. Oh, that could be one thing. So this one is bar graph. So first thing, tell me, Puri Amru. Mike Solis and okay, Ravina. Sorry. Rosina. Oh. Tell me,
Yes, sir.
what does the pie chart show? Pie chart matra likhe ke dekhaya tumle. What do you understand by this pie chart?
What?
अलिकति धमिलो छ है. Bear it.
Oh, salt water, groundwater.
So this is something like fresh water 3%, sir. This is salt water 97%, sir. And fresh water kuma pani ice glaciers are 79%, groundwater 20%, sir, and surface water is 1%. What do you understand by this graph? Ki dekha ho?
It shows that only 3%.
Do not go to data. Data चाहिँ नजाऊ. यसले बुझाउन खोजेको के हो भनेको मलाई नेपालीमा भन्दाखेरि पनि ओके के. देखाउन खोजेको छ के.
100% मा चाहिँ फ्रेस वाटर चाहिँ 3% युज हुन्छ अनि 97% चाहिँ साल्ट वाटर. त्यसमा पनि फ्रेस वाटरको क्याटेगोरीभित्र चाहिँ ग्राउन्ड वाटर, सर्फेस वाटर र ग्लेसियर भनेछ. त्यसको पनि पर्सेन्टाइल अनुसार चाहिँ कति युज हुन्छ भनेर छ.
Is this about use? No भनेको. No भनेको. Okay, Sangeeta, nice. This is not about use, eh? Though यहाँ चाहिँ use of water लेखेको छ भन्ने कुरा, this is not about the use. This is about the source. Nice catch up, right? Sangeeta, this is about the source. Usually, what this means is all the water that we have, most of them is salt water, whereas we have very less of fresh water. And in this 3% of fresh water, usually के देखाको हो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ यो फ्रेश वाटर, यो 3% फ्रेश वाटरको मा चाहिँ मेरो फ्रेश वाटरमा कसरी डिवाइड भछ त? ग्राउन्ड वाटर इज 20%, सर्फेस वाटर इज 1% and ग्लेसियर इज 29% भनेर देखाको के. हामीसँग जति पनि पानी छ, all the water we have, that is divided into fresh water and salt water, where more number is salt water and we have very less of fresh water, and that fresh water can be divided into, which is usually most of them is covered by ice and glaciers and groundwater, and surface water we just have 1%. So isko bhitrako pani yo ho ke. It's not about the use, eh? Use चाहिँ यतापट्टि देखाको. There is big use of water भन्ने कुरा देखाछ के. Fine. पहिला क्वेशन राम्रोसँग बुझ्नु पर्यो के. How could you have that? पहिला क्वेशन बुझ्न सिकौं अनि त्यसपछि we will talk about the things, right? So this was not about the use. How the world water is used भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ problem हैन भन्ने कुरा. Now, maybe the usable water would be, the salt water is unusable. के जेसुकै परे पनि. It is not used. So fresh water use चाहिँ यो तीनटा countries मा चाहिँ कसरी भएको छ? How is fresh water used भन्ने कुरा. So in case of Egypt, right? Egypt र Saudi Arabia को केसमा चाहिँ most of the water is used for agriculture. They have almost similar amount used for domestic and industry को लागि चाहिँ normally Egypt and South Africa use very less amount of water for the industry, whereas Canada use a lot of water for its industries. So you've understood the topic, right? कसरी के गर्न पर्ने के देखाएको त भन्दै नाउ टेल मी what does the pie chart show? Can you guys please write what does the pie chart show? Chat ma sabai bhanne what does the pie chart show in your own way? You kura naherni yo mathiko part naherni. What does the pie chart show? That's my question to you. The pie chart show गरेर जानु पर्यो. The pie chart compares, it could be anything. ल chat मा लेखौँ. कोही एकजना लेखौँ न ल. It would be a lot of waste of time है त्यसपछि. Christina, तिमी लेखौ त chat मा लेखेर पठाऊ. Others can volunteer as well. Others try to. The first pie chart shows the total availability of water in Earth, where maximum. The maximum percentage of water is salt water. Exactly what
topic matra, sir?
Topic matra. Do not add that maximum minimum. That there will be a separate paragraph for this as well. The pie chart visualizes. Try garo to feel pie chart. The pie chart visualizing. So maybe this one, shayad, right? No, that's something that I wrote, right? Only body time. So that's something that I wrote. Fine. That was my perception, right? So in my view, that was my description for my first pie chart. The first pie chart visualizes the percentage of fresh and salt water around the world, whereas the second one shows what amount of fresh water is divided into three different sources. Three different sources, so that's groundwater, surface water, and ice and glacier. So that's how you write an introduction. मैले के कुरा बुझेको छु त भन्ने कुरा. Now let's try another topic. Okay, vacation. एउटा कुनै अर्को क्वेशन गरेर हेरौँ ल. Show you this now. एउटा अर्को टपिक गरेर हेरौँ त. Let's try it very fast as you can. First, what you need to do is you need to understand the question. What is being shown in your question? कसरी गर्ने त के गरी गर्ने त भन्ने कुरा. Go on with one topic. Okay, fine. So this does not have anything. यति नै. Srijana, can you please turn on your mic? Let's try. Srijana Shrestha.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So what do you understand by this picture? Basically, Anandali Bandahiri say. What is this? What is this? So this is this a table or what is this? Your first part. The first one is table.
Okay.
The second one is pie chart. Right? So there are two parts. You're a table, you're a part pie chart too.
Depending on food and clothes. Okay, 15,000, 11, 14,000, 15,000. 2010 fruits, vegetable, meat and fish, daily products, other fruits and drinks, clothes, fruits and vegetables.
What is the table about?
The table is about the total income which was spent in 2010 and income in 2013, which is compared in 2010 total income was
no data that's pound data. So table shows what was the total income of someone in 2010 and 2013 and how they spend on foods and clothes from that total income, right?
Yes, sir.
Fine, you can understand that total income 80 भयो भने spending foods र clothes र food मा कति spend गर्दो रहेछ भन्ने कुराहरु भयो, right? So what is this pie chart about?
यो pie chart ले चाहिँ अब त्यो कति percent अनुसार चाहिँ different categories अनुसार चाहिँ छुटाएको छ. जस्तै कि 20% of the fruits and vegetable मा categorize गरेको छ. Meat and fish लाई 25% मा dairy each categories लाई चाहिँ छुटाएको छ and 2010 मा चाहिँ यसरी categorize गरेको छ भने 2013 मा पनि कसरी categorize गरेको छ भनेर छ. जस्तै कि अब fruits and vegetable मा पहिला उनीहरुले अलिक कम spend गर्थे भने पछि चाहिँ अब अलि 35% भनेपछि 15% ले चाहिँ increase भएको छ. Likewise, अनि पहिला चाहिँ meat मा धेरै spend गर्थ्यो भने अहिले चाहिँ अब अलि 10% ले घटेको छ.
Nice. So this is about, is there any relationship between this table and this pie chart? Any relation?
Yeah, I think so.
What could be the relationship? There is some reason that these a table and a pie chart is given. simultaneously or together. There could be one reason for that. Why do you think these two data are given? Anyone? Or why do you?
कति स्पेन्ड गरेछ त्यो क्याटेगोराइज यसैमा खर्च भएको छ भनेर क्याटेगोराइज गर्नको लागि किनभने फुडमा स्पेन्ड अन द फुड्स एन्ड क्लोथ्स भनेको छ सो त्यो अनुसार चाहिँ 14,000 आयो भने स्पेन्ड आएको 29,000 सपोज 29,000 भनौँ मैले नि 20,000 जसमा चाहिँ स्पेन्ड गरेर चाहिँ 14,000 त्यसमा पनि क्याटेगोराइज कुन कुन छ भनेर इचको क्याटेगोराइज गरिदिएको छ
nice understand so the relationship between this table and this table भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो नि यो 14,000 this was spent on food and clothes नि त यो food and clothes मा चाहिँ यसमा पनि अझै क्याटेगोराइजेसन गर्नु पर्दाखेरि चाहिँ कसरी क्याटेगोराइजेसन गर्छ सो फ्रुट्स एन्ड भेजिटेबल्स मा यति गरेछ मीट एन्ड फिश मा यति गरेछ डेयरी प्रोडक्ट्स मा यति गरेछ कुक फुड मा यति गरेछ र क्लोथ्स मा यति गरेछ सो दिस ऑल लाइज इन बिट्विन द फुड एन्ड क्लोथ्स मै भित्र परेछ नि त सो 14,000 कसरी स्पेन्ड गरेछ भन्ने हिसाबले 15,000 कसरी स्पेन्ड गरेछ भन्ने हिसाब नाउ फाइन यो कुराहरु पनि याद गर्नु पर्यो भन्दा यु नीड टु अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड द क्वेशन्स एकदम मजाले सकेसम्म चाहिँ so you need to spend almost like 2 to 3 minutes to understand the question and then write के पछि चाहिँ आनन्दले बसेर लेख्नु पर्यो के अनि त्यसपछि चाहिँ so you need to understand first what we are trying to do is we need to understand the question कसरी बुझ्दो रहेछ त के गरी बुझ्दो रहेछ nice understanding ल म अर्को एउटा क्वेशन निकाल्छु ल first you need to identify what type of data it is it a bar chart is it a pie chart is it a line graph हो कि के हो भन्ने हिसाबले चाहिँ बुझ्नु पर्यो त्यसपछि then we can start doing things around okay पहिला अनि then it will be very easy to understand the things around I have another एउटा part चाहिँ राख्नु ल let me search without no, fine. Any volunteers? Simran?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hello. Okay, fine. So what is this about? Or open guessing like or look, please. So both are bar diagrams. UQ. First one Q.
Bar graph.
Bar graph. This one is bar graph. This one is also bar graph. So what is first bar graph about? That's 1700, 1800, 1900, and 2000. If you can't understand those things now. And this is something like in millions.
The above bar graph represents the number of populations in England and Wales between 1700 to 2000 year in millions.
Okay, this was about England or Wales.
Population.
To nabani, or increasing rate nabani. Oil first, like what is this about? England or Wales ko bare mein, right? England or Wales ko bare mein matro pare. Fine. England or Wales ma chai kati population थियो भन्ने हिसाबले. What is second bar graph about?
The second bar graph represents the shows the number of birth and death rate from 1700 to 2000.
What do you mean by birth rate and what do you mean by death rate? Or per thousand?
Number of the.
मलाई नेपालीमा बुझाउँथे per thousand भनेको के हो?
thousand भनेको 1000 population मध्ये चाहिँ कतिवटा birth र death rate चाहिँ कति हो भनेर.
Okay, so if in case you need to represent this data, the 17,000, it's something like almost like 8 jati छ यो हैन. So what do you mean by that? Actual numbers हो भने 1000 जनामा 8 जना जन्मियो भनेको हो कि what is that? 1000 जनाको रेटमा 8 जना जन्मियो भनेको हो कि के भनेको? Anyone could suggest me that? What do you mean by that rate पनि यसमा चाहिँ?
If त्यो बेला चाहिँ 1000 वटा population छ भने चाहिँ त्यसमध्ये चाहिँ 8 जना चाहिँ भर्खर लाइक त्यो इयरमा चाहिँ जन्मेको हो.
त्यो इयरमा चाहिँ जन्मेको. ओके फाइन. पर 1000 जनामा चाहिँ उनीहरुले त्यो इयरमा चाहिँ कसरी 1700 मा चाहिँ 8 जना चाहिँ त्यसमा जन्मे थियो भन्ने हिसाबले भयो. डेथ रेट इज सेम थिङ. पर 1000 जना मरेकोमा चाहिँ हैन 1000 जना मान्छेमा चाहिँ देयर वर अ काइन्ड अफ भनौं न 6 or 7 डेथ्सहरु चाहिँ भएको थियो. This rate kind of increased in case of 18,000 or 19,000 or 2,000. That's all the counts have. Nice understanding. So the first thing that you need to be doing is you need to understand. पहिला मजाले बसेर question analyze गर्नु पर्यो before writing. भन्न खोजेको कुरा के हो त भन्ने कुरा. Now you can understand the things out. कि मैले यस्तो गर्न खोजेको, यो गर्न खोजेको, यो डेटाले भन्न खोजेको. The first thing what people make mistakes is that they do not understand the question. Data le garna khojeko kura ke ho bhanne kura chai bujhdaina bhanne kura. Now today's task is what you need to do is अहिले right आजको task के भयो? I will not give you anything. You do not have to devise anything about introduction पनि चाहिएन मलाई body part पनि चाहिएन मलाई अरु analysis पनि. I do not want anything. Analysis पनि के पनि चाहिएन. So what you need to do is you need to go through this site. म site दिन्छु ल. Site दिन्छु. The first thing that you need to do is you need to go one site and then analyze each of the questions. जति सक्छ त्यतिवटा क्वेशन्सहरु चाहिँ एनालाइज गर्ने and have that हुन्छ नि यो कुराले भन्न खोजेको and write anything that you would like to add. जेसुकै यो कुराले यो भनेको छ, यो कुराले यो कुरा भनेको छ भन्ने हिसाबले चाहिँ पहिला काम गर्नु. So the bar graph tells us about this. The pie chart tells us about it. Now go to IELTSlist.com. You will link पठाउँछु है. So that's the talks for you. There are a lot of questions. म यो सबैलाई पठाइदिन्छु. सिमरन यो छोटनलाई पनि एकचोटी गर्दियो ल, ट्रान्सफर गर्दियो ल.
Sir.
So what you need to do is organizing आजको लागि that's talks for you. You won't be doing anything. So what you need to go through this. जस्तै writing talks one कुनै एउटा गयो to rise के भनेछ. So what you need to do is you need to devise यो के को बारेमा. This is a line graph. के गर्नु पर्यो नि छेउमा एउटा टक्क लाएर लेख्नु पर्यो. This is a line graph. Fine. यो line graph हो के को बारेमा हो it is about the gym membership and it has compared between men and women between the year 1980 to 2010 को बारेमा compare गरेको and what can you write about it के maybe trends को बारेमा के हिसाबले increase छ कि decrease छ whatever you can write about it, write it right? No organization, no grammatical problems, nothing. Introduction पनि चाहिएन मलाई उ पनि चाहिएन but what you can write about it, please write it, whatever you understand. So that's a task for you. Go through at least 3, right? So 3 tasks. कुनै एउटा 3टा टास्क गर्नु पर्यो. So what you need to do is you need to have that screenshot. एउटा टक्क लाएर screenshot खिच्नु र यो टास्कको बारेमा चाहिँ मैले यो खालीको रिपोर्ट बनाएँ भने. So I need you to do that. है अहिलेलाई धेरै लेख्न पनि परेन 3टा टास्कको बारेमा चाहिँ तपाईले यो गर्नुपर्छ ओके फाइन जिम मेम्बरशिप चाहिँ यस्तो यस्तो हो रहेछ है यस्तो यस्तो रहेछ है भनेको you need to just write fine. So that's the task for you. I guess it's almost like 5. So आजको लागि टास्क चाहिँ यति नै भयो. We'll be going very slow अहिलेको लागि. Tomorrow we'll be doing introduction part or कसरी छुटाउने and we will be doing the body part. So I guess this much for today. आज बसेर मजाले गरौँ यो पार्टहरुमा चाहिँ what can I devise from the picture that I've given. So what is this first one? What is the information given? Is this from which date to which date? Maybe you could include that as well and have a describing of the trends or is there anything significant? Maybe कसैलाई what can you write it for? 3टा पनि परेन ल एउटाको गर्नु. Choose one thing that you can write. अनि त्यसको बारेमा के लेख्न सक्छु ल just one thing है एउटा मात्र हिसाबले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ it's fine. So that's a task for you today. Please do it. And the IELTS cannot be written down यता भुकेर गर्न सक्ने हैन. It's something like skill. Please do the assignments त्यति चाहिँ. So this much for today. I'll just stop recording. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Hi.
Thank you, sir.
Your part say go. Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.